my content output, truthfully, is anywhere, I don't even know, if you're going to catch every single platform, it's got to be about 30 to 40 pieces of content going out every day. And I do that 7 days a week. And that takes me 1 hour.
So first of all, that's beautiful. I love that. That's a beautiful system. But how are you using a specific software that breaks those down? Are you leveraging virtual assistants? Like, how are you, taking all that content and repurposing it across multiple platforms without it being, you diving in there deeply to, pull from here, pull from there, and then all that type of stuff? Is there a system? Is there a formula? What is that process beyond the actual content creation that you use to essentially blast it out everywhere else?
So I don't have a VA. I don't have any assistants. I do it all myself. Everything is done myself for a number of reasons. But that's just, I wouldn't advise that, by the way, but it is one of those where, like, I don't, it's literally just a system. This came from my financial services backgrounds of mortgages. We used to have a checklist. We used to call it like a right first time checklist. And the idea was to successfully execute on a mortgage. You like over here in the UK, we have a lot of regulation here. And so everything had to go through a specific order, and each thing knocks onto the next thing. And so the truth is, people overcomplicate content because they're not, this is the honest truth, is that you don't need anything. You just need a very strong format at the beginning, which is that hook, that thing I said. If you follow that, all it genuinely is, and obviously you can outsource to an editor if you wanted and tell them to do that stuff. If you wanted to do, all you need is someone to know you cut at this point, you cut at this point, you cut at this point. Now, it's actually, I mean, trying to go, it's one of those things you have to see more than explain, but it's really simple. Like and the best way to think about it is, for example, a YouTube video. If you want to do it this way, this is one of the ways I would do, is I use something like Filmora. You can record directly into the computer. And I know you messaged me saying about Filmora. Filmora is brilliant. And so I use Filmora to, if I'm not going live, which I'm doing right now, just to test it out to get more reach. But normally I would record it directly into the camera from Filmora. And I would record each individual short TikTok, but each one of those is actually structured to make a full video. So it's just smart planning beforehand. If you work out, this 4 videos are going to fit together to make one long one, reverse engineer it, and you'll get it. The one thing I would say with it, though, is you do have to, the biggest thing is reduction of friction. So there's a reason why I have this studio. I do miss the days like with yours. Like, I'd love that. Like where, we just have the camera, the phone, just crank it out.
Yeah, sitting on the table over there the other day. Yeah.
I'm very jealous. Like, I'm super jealous. Like, because the problem is, like, now I'm so used to this scenario, like this setup, that everything is in the right place. I'm just ready to go. I just press record, and that's why it takes an hour, because it would take me an hour to set all this up otherwise. But it is just process. Now, really, that comes down to, and they're big, I'm making sure I don't swear on this, but to make sure that you don't actually piss around at the beginning.
You can say whatever you want on this.
I'm trying to be good, because
let it fly, bro. Let it fly. It's all good.
I keep getting told off by sponsorships and brands like, you shouldn't be swearing. I had one about a troll, and I was like, who the fuck are they? And then I was like, why did I say that? But like, but the truth is, yeah, like the religious thing that I say to people, do this day in and day out, is this structure. Before you just whack the camera out, I mean, you can do that, but if you want, blog style content, YouTube style content, do this structure, do this research, make sure you've got your hook, your intro, your main points, and then your outros, and then you can make everything else around that. But the amount of people that we overcomplicate, to be completely honest with you, you don't have to add all the bells and whistles. Just do that.
Yeah, it's very interesting because what we do, and we have a team member who's doing this for us now, but we'll take TikTok videos and we'll place them onto Pinterest, and we'll place them not right this moment, but this week we're going to be placing them on YouTube Shorts. We actually are building an integration that'll do it automatically for us. And then obviously we post that into the Facebook group as well. We post that onto Instagram as well. So we have somewhat of a similar system where it's like, you really don't need, and I think this is where people who are newer to the space waste a lot of time. Like, okay, I have to pull it from here and place it there and the timing. And it's just like, get the content out, do it, figure out your system, and boom, boom, like get it where it needs to be. But I think where a lot of people struggle, and this is really myself included, is the actual type of content and keeping it high quality. Because, you know, when you're making TikToks or you're making YouTube videos every single day, it's like, okay, here's another video and it's a similar thing. And like, well, this person made this video. What's your strategy to actually make the content? Are you going out and seeing what other people are doing? Is this just you having just like brain dumps, getting white space to get stuff down? Like, how do you actually figure out, like, Monday through Monday, I'm going to make this video, this video, this video, and what's the planning that goes into that for you?
Yeah, so I have that's a brilliant question, mate. So I'm a big unit. If you're going to do daily content, like to the frequency, the volume that I'm doing, you must never ever let that well run dry. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've had moments sat at my like lounge and being like, I've got nothing to speak about next week, and I've got to make 7 shows. What is going on? So it does happen. And so how do you do that? If I'm not like, I'm just a student all the time. I'm constantly hooked and looking to try and find content. Now, there's a couple of things that I do. There's loads of stuff you can do to find content. The first one is understand that you can repeat yourself over and over and over and over again. Like, that is the most important thing. A friend of mine is a guy called Nick Nimmin. He's a big YouTuber, very, very successful YouTuber. And if you look at Nick's content, there's only about, he's close to 1 million subscribers now. He's probably one of the top YouTube coaches. The guy has probably got about 20 themes of a video. I mean, there's like 500 videos. There's only like 20 themes. He's a YouTube coach. And the thing people want to know is, how do I get more views? How do I get more subscribers? That's it. Like, it's kind of really it. And so don't be afraid to repeat over and over and over again. You use words, and this is where me and you are aligned compared to 99% of the people in our space. It's one of the reasons why I absolutely so glad I had you on the show and so glad we connected, was omnipresence matters. It's just about being everywhere. I hate to tell all of you guys who listen to this, most people are not even going to watch what you make. All you need them to do is see your face and see the keyword that relates to it, and that's it. So that's the first thing, is you can repeat. The second thing that I do is curate your news feeds on social media so that you are literally, every single time, you're getting bombarded with content that is ideas. So it's really funny. Brad might even notice or not, but like, I unfollowed you and I followed you back. And the reason why is I actually went through and unfollowed everyone on Instagram, like everyone. And then I had a list of people. Brad was on the list. So it was one of those, I have a list of people where I was like, I'm going to follow them again. And why was I good? And the reason why is, surround yourself and Instagram is probably one of the best places for video ideas. No one realizes this. An Instagram carousel is pure YouTube content marketing gold. Because if someone puts a 7 steps on a carousel on how to do this specific thing, I literally will just screenshot them and go bang, 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 bang. And I throw it into what I call a Pandora's box, which is just a place where where when I'm looking for ideas, anything that's inspired me, I'll pull it from. So you want to constantly be curating your newsfeed. Don't follow your friends. Follow people who, you can follow your friends, but follow the people who are actually going to inspire you. And that means this morning I'm taking my wife to the dentist. My son's asleep in the back, and I'm waiting out the front. And what I do, I open up Instagram and I scroll through, and I find 4 video ideas straight away in the 5 minutes. So it's making your feed, your life so much more productive. And then the third one with that is definitely, talk about what you want to talk about. And that's another one. You want to make sure you make searchable content, so you can use other things like, answer the public and all that stuff, but also talk about like stuff that you might know right now. For example, like I said, I did a troll video yesterday. I got a ton of responses from that. That's not something that is quote unquote the right thing to talk about. It wasn't giving me high scores on search. It wasn't giving me all this stuff. But sometimes you will know there's something to speak about. But I think if you do that and you put those across the board, you are going to get yourself in a much better space. If you have a balance of those things, you put yourself in a situation where you're always seeing people, and to kind of obviously not to keep rambling on that one, to give the kind of wrap that up in a bow. Don't try and be original. This is the most important thing. Don't try and be original. If you follow my content, 9 times out of 10, you probably find it's the same stuff that Brad's telling you. Because guess what? The right things are always the right things. It's just the truth. And this is what people don't get. We have this obsession of wanting to be original. And in fact, we should be individual. This is there's a very different thing. Original is somebody who is new, never been to the space, and it's a completely new thing. Guess what? If it's original, it means that you don't know, the market doesn't know if it exists and whether it's good or not. We used to see this when I was a singer. Everyone would be looking for, when I was a performer, everyone was looking for that one song, that song that was going to be the one that got them all the jobs. And what no one realized was when you walk in to an audition and you sing, we've all heard a song. How many times our favorite artist release a new song and you're like, takes about 4 or 5 listens before you go, oh, it's great, this.
Spot on. Yeah.
So do the stuff that you know works.
Exactly.
Like, don't try and do something completely out of the box. And that's what I'd say. And, I'll take that back to you, mate. But hopefully that's what I would say. That's how I find ideas. That's kind of the mindset around it.
And that's spot on. And I think it's a couple things. The first thing is scrolling with intent, right? Because like I do, most of my content initially starts on TikTok and then just gets blasted out from there. But, there's a difference between, and I know you're on TikTok as well, and probably most of my audience watching this is on TikTok or is getting onto TikTok. Don't sit on TikTok and scroll and watch cat videos for 3 hours or watch like the dancing 19-year-old on the beach in the bikini. That's not productive work, right? What you want to be doing is following people like you, following people in your niche, following people in your space, seeing the type of content that they're doing, writing it down. A lot of times I'll screen record videos or I'll just send them, right? I'll send them to my business partner. I'll send them to my friend and say, hey, this person's talking about branding. I think, this will fit in perfectly with you. And what you'll find is like, I'm a big believer in like sending content to people in my niche because then they start to send content back to you, right? And it's like, then you have kind of a bank to go off of, because it is difficult at times for me. And I think it may be more difficult for me than you, I'm not sure, but to just sit there with a white piece of paper and go, okay, I'm gonna do 30 TikToks today. What the fuck am I gonna talk about for 30 TikToks? Because the last 30, I was talking about marketing, I was talking about back-end systems, I was talking about all the same stuff. And I'm like, well, I can really just do the same thing and just repeat it over and over and over again. And I was actually talking to one of my clients yesterday who was struggling with this. He's like, I don't know what to do. It seems like I only have this one thing and I'm just teaching it over and over and over again. I'm like, that's exactly what you should be doing, right?
That's where we all want to be. That's the best place.
Exactly. Because then your audience is like, oh, well, this guy teaches copywriting, he teaches funnel building, and he teaches, this other thing, right? And it's like, if you just say that over and over and over again, and they're looking for someone to help them out with copywriting and funnel building, it's like, oh, well, this dude over here, that's all he talks about. He must know his shit, right? Yeah. Whereas like what we do is like, we talk about marketing and long-term sustainability and systems and all of these types of things where it's like, all of the people who come to us to work with us are like, yeah, we love you because you're transparent. You talk about the same type of things. It's sustainable, all of these things that people are looking for. So I think, there's a misconception that it's like, you have to make all these videos that are all different in all these different areas. It's like, no, you really don't. You want to have a broad idea of what you're doing. You want to leverage other people's content as research, right? Not as sitting there scrolling on social media, wasting time. That's research, right? That's part of the game. That's part of work, whether it be YouTube, TikTok. I go on Instagram. What are people doing in their stories? Oh, that's a good one. I like that story. I can duplicate that and put that up. Like that's part of the process. The creative process is doing that research effectively and not just being, someone who's scrolling on social media, just wasting their time.